If you're looking for religion, scroll out. If you're looking for ritual, scroll out. If you're looking for rules someone else wrote to make you feel spiritual, this ain't that. This is a resurrection call. And here's the warning. God was once crucified on a hill, but he's been dying every day in your calendar ever since. Let me confess something. I've been thinking about God a lot lately. Not the Sunday school version, not the one draped in robes and borrowed authority. I'm talking about the source, the infinite, the one that breathes systems into you before you even speak your first word. And I started asking myself, if it took divine power to create God, if it took blood, rebellion, empire, and centuries to kill him, what's it going to take to bring him back? Not back to churches, back to us, back to execution, back to authorship. Because I believe we've reached a part of history where you don't even need to believe in God to be governed by one. Now we follow new gods, algorithms, influences, feelings, dopamine. Our entire culture is run by simulated divinity. But simulated divinity cannot save your soul. And deep down, you know that. You see, the crucifixion of God was not an event. It was a system loop. Here's what happened. When Nietzsche declared God is dead, he wasn't bragging. He was mourning the moral framework collapse. He knew when the external God dies, the internal chaos begins. So what filled the gap? Distraction, worship of self, endless freedom with no covenant. But that freedom was fake, because man needs something bigger than himself to organize his life. And if that fixed thing isn't God, it becomes the feed. The final crucifixion wasn't Christ on the cross. It's your obedience crucified on the altar of convenience. It's your pattern of praise rerouted towards popularity and likes. You don't miss God because you are unholy. You miss God because you've been taught to live without consequence. You've been taught that every emotion is a compass, that every belief is valid, that your truth is enough. But truth without system is noise. And the real God don't speak in trends. He speaks in patterns. He speaks in alignment. He speaks through remembrance. This is not a return to religion. This is a return to reverence. So here is the loop. You killed your own covenant when you stopped showing up to your calling. You chose autonomy over assignment, and that felt like freedom until it fractured your focus. But I got you, and let's repair it. This is where we get into our creation covenant loop. Audit, remix, re-record. You got the call. Now move like it's recorded. You know we start with an audit. Ask yourself this question. What emotion did you exchange for God? Was it comfort, confidence, control? Then you want to hit him with the remix. What thought governs your obedience now? Is it convenience-based, Is it crowd approved? Then you want to re-record. What action must you take today that you've been postponing in the name of false freedom? That is the move. That is your worship. That is how you resurrect God in your life, through disciplined alignment, not declarations. We are not just praying to God. We are becoming the place he can dwell again. Let this be the start of your resurrection loop, not back to old idols, not back to emotional chaos, back to the covenant, back to the infinite, back to the root source. And if you've forgotten how to speak God, just move in obedience, and you'll remember the sound of his voice in your own reflection. Own it or be owned by it. You either run the system or the system runs you. Change your mind, change your life. I am who I say I am. Do you and stay rich.